All right, howdy. So here is the promised follow-up video, having unpackaged now the Loog Pro Guitar and mini amp that I just won from Diodario, and I've got it tuned up. There's actually an app that you can use on the App Store because I've got an iPhone. Probably also on Google Play, that has a tuner built into it, and I was actually kind of surprised because their tuning is E, B, and G, high to low, basically the same as the top three strings on a regular guitar, and the same pitch, which I get kind of because they're trying to teach guitar with this thing. And so anything you learn on this, because it's tuned the same, will transfer, although the scale is obviously much different. I would bet this is not even probably about a 20-inch scale. Very small for sure. And the strings are very thin gauge, which again is going to be easy for beginners, but these all feel like about 9s or 10s. And I might want to try and see if I can go up a gauge or a couple gauges and see if the improvement in the gauge doesn't also make the intonation a little bit better, make them a little bit less prone to bending out when you do chords. Speaking of chords, in a different way, it comes with the amp, comes with this included guitar cord, which the ends on these, this is actually a better quality than what you get when you buy a Fender. They give you a little pack with a strap and a cable, and this is actually a better quality cord than what comes with US Fenders these days. So that's pretty impressive. Now the amp itself is this little dealie here. It advertises itself at 3 watts into a 3-inch speaker. It's pretty cheaply made. The white Tolex, as you can see, is just kind of wrapped around. It has a genuine faux leather handle here, and it really is faux leather. I would not lie to you about that. The controls on it, you've got an input jack, and you've got gain, you've got volume, and then you've got power on and off. Now, the thing can be plugged into a wall wart for power, or you can put a 9-volt battery into it, which is nice if you're gonna travel around. And then it's got a headphone out, so you can be totally silent, and it's got an aux input for your iPhone or iPod or whatever you might have that you want to play along with. Something to be aware of, though, it says DC 9 volts, but note the little diagram underneath here. You have to be sure you actually look at these. On some devices it doesn't matter. On some devices you can really cause damage. But this one is not the standard Boss scheme, which is center negative. This one is actually center positive. So if you go and just plug in your generic pedal power supply to it, full disclosure, I tried that and it just didn't turn on. But some devices that are center positive, if you plug in a center negative supply, you can actually damage them. So get in the habit of looking at that if you go and try this stuff out. So be aware that you will need a different power supply if you want to try to run it off an AC power supply. Plugging it in, I've got it all tuned up here. Again, just a single volume control. Fairly nice. I mean, it's you can get so much good stuff for so little these days. I mean, this is better hardware than came on my first guitar. This the bridge, yeah, it's cheap cast metal and cheap cast saddles. But you see, it's actually got the guides in it here for the saddles, so they don't slide around. And that's a undoubtedly a ceramic magnet, but it's an adjustable tele neck pickup, and a tele knob. And I think I pointed out before, the gears are open gear tuners, which works fine. and that seems to be a maple neck. It's not reinforced, does not have a truss rod, or if it does, it's not adjustable. I can't see anywhere on here you could adjust the thing. So I'm going to try some higher gauges because these all feel, like I said, about 9s, maybe 9, 11. That might be an 11 there. And I want to, see if, for me, for beginners, these light strings are great. For me, I might want to see if some heavier gauge strings might improve the playability a little bit for me. Let me go ahead and turn it on. And now the hum, I'm under a fluorescent light, but it is a single coil. Cheaper speaker. The little booklet that comes with it advertises clean or dirty sounds, but this is with the gain all the way up. Now, I guess one good thing about it, even fully cranked, I mean, everything dimed on this thing. You're probably not going to get evicted out of your apartment or anything playing that. But I mean, the amp is, kind of, I guess, about what you'd expect from a cheap battery-powered amp. I plugged the guitar into a tube amp I've got, and it really doesn't sound bad. Like I said, this is a pretty decent sounding pickup. I think I'm going to play around with the gauges a little bit on the strings and see if I can beef it up a little bit, because of the short scale and the fairly low tuning for the scale of the guitar. But it's really a pretty cool little setup. The nice thing about having the tuning the same as a guitar is that anything you learn on this thing, a D chord right here, an A chord here, a G or a G, this is actually a G right there. Anything basically that you learn on it will transfer right to a regular guitar should you continue on. And it's actually a pretty cool little, I don't know if this would go in an overhead. I bet it would fit in a carry-on bag for sure. If you wanted to use this as a travel guitar, it's actually pretty cool. And it plays pretty well. The neck is straight, and in fact, maybe even a little bit backbowed, which is again why I'm thinking about going up gauge on the strings. But really a pretty cool setup. So I think it'd be a great way to, kind of get a kid into playing, or if you want something cool to take along as a travel guitar. Although I would probably honestly ditch this amp in favor of using one of the programs you can put on a phone, or maybe one of the little Vox amp plugs or something like that you can plug headphones into. I think you probably get a little bit better quality sound out of it. But for what it is, it's a pretty cool little deal. Just watch that power on it. Thanks.